I am doing a live here on Thursday evening. I know I normally do it on a Friday. But welcome to Creativity Released on YouTube. And if you've ever gone through a storm, things have got really difficult, and you're wondering, has God really heard my prayers? You're in the right place. So I am going to be doing a little training on that, and I'd love you to be here. Let me know in the chat if you're watching it live or on replay, and I'm going to get stuck into it right now. So let me just share my screen. So you should be able to all see my screen now. So welcome. Okay, so I've been thinking about difficulties. We are in week 6 of the Call to Dream, Created to Dream, should I say, and it's based on Rick Warren's book, which you'll find the links in the description. But I want to talk about difficulties, okay, because we all come up to difficulties. This is week 6, and I'll be honest with you, this is a week that I didn't write about, because let's face it, it's difficult. It's not something that we want to talk about. It's difficulty. Not in theory, not in a nice way or a nice devotional way, but I'm going to go in. All right. And so now, listen, if you're here and if you've had a hard season right now, and I need you to stay until the very end, because I'm going to share something at the close that I think will genuinely shift how you see what you're going through. And it's a reframe I wish someone had told me years ago. So stay with me. And before we start, drop a heart emoji in the chat if you're here live. And I just want to know who's in the garden with me this evening, or it might be morning for you, wherever you are in the world. Okay, so let's catch up. Over these weeks, we started off with that we named our dream. Okay, so that's where we started. And then we planted it, and we made decisions, and we waited, and then it got hard. Okay, life does get hard. And if you've been following along, you know what I mean. There's a moment where the excitement fades and reality sort of kind of shows up. Let's be real. So in the chat, let me know, right? Same in the chat if you know exactly what I'm talking about. That moment where you thought, maybe I heard God wrong. Maybe this isn't for me. So hold that thought, because we're about to take it all apart. I want to show you 2 kinds of hard, because they're different and we often muddle them up. The delay is quiet, nothing happens, nobody responds, numbers don't move, your inbox is kind of empty. It's a test. It's a test of your patience, isn't it? Can you wait is the question. The difficulty is loud, and something breaks, someone leaves, you get a bill that you weren't expecting. It's a test to solve, and you're thinking, will I continue? So here's my question for you. Which one are you right now? In the chat, let me know. Are you the delay or are you the difficulty? I want to see where you are at the moment, because this is one of those moments, when you're kind of thinking, what is going on? Is any of you ever thinking that, or is it just me? This is one of those verses that gets quoted at you when life is hard. We can rejoice too when we run into problems and trials. That's Romans 5, verse 3 to 4. And if I'm being honest, it can feel a bit dismissive. Rejoice in your problems. Really, Paul? But look what he's actually doing here. He's not telling you to enjoy it. He's showing you a chain. Problems produce endurance. Endurance builds character. And character leads to confident hope. So Paul's not telling you to enjoy the difficulty. He's showing you the chain. He's saying, this isn't wasted. The difficulty is not pointless. It's producing something in you. So you don't rejoice because the trial is nice. You rejoice because the trial is not wasted. So just let me know in the chat if you can say not wasted, because I'd like to know. Maybe you feel that this has all been a waste of time. Why am I going through all these difficult things? But it isn't wasted. So now here's where it gets real, because when difficult hits, there's a voice and it says, this difficulty means you took the wrong path. Have you ever heard that when someone says, oh, maybe I've done the wrong thing? Have you misheard what God was saying? Or you overreached, or you should have stayed where you were, But that's the lie. Here's the truth. The enemy doesn't bother to storm an empty field. The resistance shows up precisely because you're going somewhere that matters. Difficulty is often proof you are exactly on the right path. So I want you to sit with that for a moment. If you've been doubting yourself, and if you've been second guessing what God has put on your path, let me know in the chat. Maybe you think, well, is it the wrong path? Is it the right path? But I want you to claim it. So this is my favourite part, and I need you to hear this carefully. Isaiah 43 verse 2. When you go through deep waters, I will be with you. When you go through the rivers of difficulty, you will not drown. Notice the word through. Not over, not around, through. He does not promise to airlift you over. He promises you will not drown, and you will not be alone in it. There is no way around. There is that you can only go through it. And listen, if that feels hard right now, that's okay, because I want you to stay with me, because what I'm about to show you next is the bit that changes everything. This is the part I promised you at the start, the reframe. There's a principle in botany called Stresswood. Okay, I'm not a botanist, but I researched it. Okay, it's called Stresswood. A tree grown in perfectly sheltered place grows tall, looks lovely, and then falls over in the first railstorm. But a tree that's been stressed by wind, it lays down stronger wood. It drives its roots deeper. The wind is not breaking you, it's rooting you. The difficulty is growing a root system in you that no gentle season ever could. So I want you to really take that in. And if you can write rooted in the chat, if you hit something different, just write rooted in the chat. I'd love to know. And if you think that this is just a nice idea, look at the evidence. Paul asked 3 times for his thorn to be removed. And God said, my grace is enough. Job lost everything, and he worshipped God. The Israelites did not go around the sea. They walked through it on dry ground. Jesus went through the cross for the joy set before him. Not one of them was rescued from it. Every one of them was carried through it. So you're in really good company. So here's a picture, and I'd really love you if you could draw this in the next bit of your picture. This is what I call the storm garden. Look at it. The storm is raging above, but beneath the surface, look at the roots. They're golden. They're growing. The very thing threatening you from becoming is feeding you from below. The same rain that frightens you is watering your roots. The storm has not closed the sky. So, take a screenshot now of this image, and perhaps you can come back to it when things get really rough and heavy. Maybe you could draw this picture as well. It's a lovely little sketch, I think, here, and some watercolor and some doodles, and I think it would be a really good image for you to draw. So now let's do what we always do. Let's take this to God with our hands, not just our heads. And here's the spirit-led sketch method practice this week. First of all, pray. Lord, carry me through this situation, not around it. Give me the strength, give me the endurance. And ask him to come into it with you, not to remove it. And then second, I want you to paint a bud. I'm going to use my pen here. So I'm going to paint a bud. Okay, it doesn't have to be exact, but I'm going to paint it. A bit of a doodle here, as you can see. But as I do, I'm asking God, what do you want me to do? Maybe I will draw some doodles here of the sky. Maybe I might rub some of these out or sketch. But whatever I do, I want you to think about the pains that you're going through and how God is rooting you. And then I want you to finish that sentence off in your journal. I am going through whatever that difficult situation is. I'm going through it with God. But I'm not going through it alone. Okay? So here we have my the picture. I've just taken it away. And the next one is, there is something there that I want you to think about. There's something about doing this with your hands in the middle of a hard season that settles your soul in a way words alone can't. So give it a go, try it out, paint that picture and see what God says to you in the process. And then I want you to answer that question in your journal. What are you going through right now? And can you believe you will not drown in it? Name that difficulty honestly, then believe the promise. You keep walking and the water will not close over your head. And finally, I just want you to know that you're not meant to walk this alone. Two people are better off than one, for they help each other succeed, as it says in Ecclesiastes 4 verse 9. So, if you are going through a rough time, make sure you talk about it with someone. Today I was talking to someone who'd had a stroke, and she was saying how depressed she was. She didn't want to talk to her family about it. But it's so important to talk to someone about it and not to carry this burden alone. Nothing about the difficulty changes. What changes is who is helping you carry it. And so what I want to share with you now is that next week we'll be talking about the dead ends. Sometimes it's not just half, sometimes the road runs out completely. So week 7, next Friday, we'll be talking about dead ends. And so I want to leave you with that verse. The Lord himself will fight for you, so just stay calm. And I also want to share with you that I have set up a new membership that's called the Sketch and Collage Collective. And if you go to this page, which is creativesoulspace.com/sketch collage collective only, it is at founding members only. And I wanted to just play this video for you to just get a flavour of what it's all about.
You keep meaning to get the paints out, but as the day gets busy, the blank page sitting on your desk starts to feel like a hurdle rather than an invitation. This is what a finished page looks like: a composition of coordinating textures, floral cutouts, and space for your own handwriting. To reach this result, you'll follow a specific 4-part method designed to move you through the creative process without the usual stalls. You only need 4 things to begin: your printed monthly packet, a pair of scissors, a glue stick, and a pen. By gathering these few basics, the biggest hurdle, simply getting started, is already behind you. This process is called Bev's Spirit-Led Sketch Method. It begins with the first phase, prepare. This is your monthly folio. It is organized into 4 printable parts: ephemera pack, project guide, scripture prompt, and a bonus item. The ephemera pack provides your raw materials: background papers, motifs, and borders, giving the page its visual character. As you cut these out, precision isn't required. Tearing the edges by hand adds a soft texture that works perfectly with the collage style. Once your pieces are ready, we move to the second phase, ask. This is a deliberate pause before you use any adhesive. Take a moment to sit quietly and invite God into the process as you look over the month's theme. This brief pause ensures you aren't just rushing through a craft, but are ready to engage with the scripture alongside the paper. Now we enter the third phase, doodle and create. This is the physical assembly of your page. The project guide provides a step-by-step roadmap for your layout, showing exactly where to place each layer. Start by laying down large background papers to set the base. Then add your torn paper strips on top to create middle layers. Finish the composition by placing your corner flourishes and the main focal point right on top. Once the pieces are glued down, we move to the final phase, reflect. Your focus now shifts from the layout to the message. Read the scripture prompt card and use the blank spaces or tags on your page to record your personal thoughts and prayers. Because the guide handled the design decisions for you, your mind is now free to focus entirely on the verse. While this is a great solo activity, you can also use the final phase, share. These kits are designed to work well for small creative clubs, ladies' groups, or church gatherings. You simply print enough copies for everyone at the table and follow the project guide together. The guide acts as the instructor, so you can lead the group without needing any special art background or teaching experience. It serves as a tool for building community, combining a shared creative activity with a focused spiritual conversation. In about 20 minutes, your session is complete. That blank white page from the start is now a finished composition of color, texture, and your own handwriting. You've had your creative time and your quiet time, without the burden of planning or searching for supplies. As a member of the Sketch and Collage Collective, a brand new kit like this arrives every month, themed for the season and connected to Scripture. Join the collective today and start your next season with a new page.
Okay, and so when you join the collective, you can see that you can put it in your journal pages, or you might make gift cards with them, or wall art, or just, as it said, try it out with a group, or make a printable, make some posts about it, just have it as keepsakes. But this is new. It's founding members £7 a month, or you can go for the lifetime membership, which is just a one payment of £125. And I have already put in there 3 months actually inside, so it's September, October, November, you'll already see in there. but there is also a crash course in Canva. So if you're thinking, oh, I'd really like to learn how to use Canva, there's some little training videos and tips on how to get the most out of Canva, so that you can also make tags and bookmarks and washi borders and things like that. And yeah, so that is what I wanted to share with you. And if you are thinking that, you know, this is something you'd like to be part of, then let me know. If you have any questions, put them in the chat. So I look forward to seeing you very soon. And yeah, bless you, every one of you, and take care. Bye bye.